tuned in to the Keetria Show and listening to SOB, Style of Business, the podcast with your host, Keetria. We aim to highlight the ongoing trek of entrepreneurs and business owners from around the globe, featuring stories that recount their struggles, experiences, and inevitable road to success and self-fulfillment. Welcome to SOB.
This episode is supported by the wonderful creators of Gratitude Plus app, the app that helps you cultivate a daily practice of gratitude. What are you grateful for today? You can download the app now at the App Store or by visiting gratitudeplusapp.com/style of business. Hey, what's up, y'all? Thanks for tuning in to another wonderful episode of SOB Style of Business, the podcast. This is your host, Keetria, and I'm here today. We have DeAndre Wilson, who is dropping in, and he is hanging out with us based out of the Indiana, I believe. Am I right, DeAndre? Help me out.
Yeah, Indiana.
Yeah. All right. You are definitely the first guest from Indiana.
Let's go.
Hey, let's go. Let's go all the way. He is an entrepreneur and a culinary curator and also the co-founder of Turntable. So we are definitely glad to have you on the show. Go ahead and give us your background and introduce yourself, and then we will move forward.
Cool. Thank you for having me. I love this. I love how we can connect on social media and then make these things happen. It's really dope that could be like that. But my name is DeAndre Wilson, co-founder of Turntable here in Evansville, Indiana. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm 27. My brother and I started Turntable together 5 years ago. It was a strong company. We believe in it to the mission, to the vision of it. We love doing what we do each and every single day. We are creatives in our own right. My title, being a culinary curator, is I create the experience. So I meet with a client and I say, hey, what do you envision for your event? When we come and cater your wedding or your corporate function or your house party or some sort, what do you envision? What does that look like? So I help them bring that to life, from the napkins they may want, or the silverware they may like, or just the finger foods and hors d'oeuvres they like. And then Jeff, being the head chef, he gets in the kitchen and then he brings their personality or what their friends and family like to life. So we get to do our thing. We get to, really be a staple in our community. Being they're both 27, we're able to do this. It is kind of hard at times, being that we're so young, and Evansville's kind of way, I guess you could say, not really up to date. So there is a little bit of pushback, but, we keep driving, we keep going. The thing about Turntable at this point is we are on pause because we're scaling up the business, and that's one thing that we've both done as entrepreneurs, is to scale up.
Yeah.
So we're looking for a bigger space. So while I'm looking for a bigger space, I started my second endeavor, which is the Keep Rolling campaign. I roll a large tractor tire through Evansville, Indiana. So I do a lot of different things as an entrepreneur. I didn't want to, label myself and be in this one category. I wanted to do a lot of different things, so I was able to do that. My degree is in hospitality administration, so that applies to the Turntable side, but now I'm going back to school. I'm going to get a fitness certificate just so that I can help people with fitness that, really can't afford a gym or a professional trainer, figure out what I can do to help them at least get in the mindset of being healthy and being with a trainer, and then along the line somewhere help them get an actual trainer, because I don't want to do that. I just kind of want to be like the intro to getting a trainer, and then help them find an actual trainer.
Yeah. Well, I definitely want to. I want you to share more information in regard on the Keep Rolling campaign here in a bit. But I'm interested to know, how did you get started in the hospitality industry? Because I know when I was first, talking to you, and I was getting some information on, the culinary arts, and just trying to find out more information on what you guys are doing. I was like, I wonder how he ended up going into the hospitality industry. And I know that's where your degree falls in that industry as well. So give us a little background on how you got started. Like, did anybody influence you when you were young? Like, were you cooking in the kitchen with your grandmother? Or what inspired you to go down that path?
Absolutely. So, I think it's safe to say that every college student, when we get to college, a large majority of us never know what we're going to do.
Right. Yeah.
I went to Ivy Tech Community College here in Evansville, and I was like, I'm going to be a business major. Yeah, that sounds dope. I'm going to do that. Went to those classes, and I was bored out of my mind. Right. Let's just be real. I'm not here to waste money. I was bored. I was falling asleep. I'm like, you know what? I'm not doing this. So I was undecided that following semester. And the culinary instructor in the hospitality program chair at Ivy Tech said, I've seen that you're good with people. You ever thought about the hospitality industry? I was like, I can try it out. Switch my major. And really kind of just submerge myself in the industry, because what I like about the program is, we have to sit in the classroom and there's homework, there's textbook work, but there's get up, hands-on, get out in the field, get your experience early. So when you can either leave class or come to class late
right.
because you're at work. Like, those things are acceptable because you're at work doing what we've talked about in the classroom. And when you're at work, you're getting a paycheck, and then you're also getting points. So I was like, this comes full circle.
Right, yeah.
So I love the hospitality industry. I love sharing in the experience of making someone or a group happy. I love to share that. I love to create that. So that's what works for me. It was like, I can go to work, get 10 points, do my homework, get another 10 points. Now that's 20. I'm in classroom, just showing up, you get another 3 or 5 points. So it's like, all of this is happening. Your homework is what you're already doing and you're experiencing. In the classroom, for me, I learn by conversation. So it's so interesting that all the students, we would talk about what happened last night, what happened over the weekend at work. We're not talking about partying. We're talking about what happened when we was at work. Yeah. And we're talking about different jobs in the area that, could really help us move, and people looking out for each other like, oh, DeAndre, you'd be good over here, or you'd be good over here. So, through the course of my hospitality career, I had picked up 4 jobs, and I had a problem with saying no. And I just started working everywhere, and I love the industry because I wanted to quickly get that experience, and it paid off.
Yeah. Well, I definitely see that it paid off for you. And I know that you focus on really working to create experience for your clients.
Yeah.
What type of experience, give me an example of what that looks like for you in terms of, being an entrepreneur and, kind of leading the charge for Turnkey.
Yeah. So what we did, so one of the experiences, we passed hors d'oeuvres at an event. It was the Ivy Tech Gala. So it was really dope that the college invested in me as a student, and then turned around and then invested in the business. Let us pass hors d'oeuvres through a very high profile event. And so what we did to create the experience in the name Turntable is we took some recycled records. We bought for 38 cents at an old consignment store. They're going to throw them away. We took them, we cleaned them up real nice. And then we had put the Turntable logo on the center of the record. And we used those records to pass hors d'oeuvres. And so that was an experience to hear individuals say records are way before your time, and they felt at peace with that, wow, they're recycling this, they let them throw them away, they're using it in a creative way. So that was an experience for the guests that attended the event. So that was a very formal event, and then more of a laid back kind of event. And when we do community festivals, we'll have an actual turntable set up. it's like old record player. Again, people can share that experience of, oh, I had one of these growing up, or I had one of these in my house. When we go back into business, we actually want to have a DJ scratching on the ones and twos right there. So it's able to tie in music and to create that experience, as well as just the records as well. Another example, just when we had our centerpieces, we took a bunch of music notes and we used those as the centerpieces on like we kind of had them standing up, and so they were music notes, and so that was really cool for people to see. So we're able to tie in the experience, music, good food, and then customer service all in one. So people really appreciated that, and at some point in my life, I want to do research on how music and food correlate with each other.
Oh, yeah.
To create a good experience.
Yeah, definitely, because it sounds like you guys also, through those experiences, you kind of lead the way for those conversation pieces, like you mentioned, the records, and people just talking about how you're too young to really even know that the records even existed. I guess it,
absolutely.
At some point. So I think that's definitely interesting. So what's different about Turntable versus other catering companies that might be in the area, aside from, obviously we know the name and the whole theme, the themes that you guys have?
Yeah, the name and the brand. One thing that I've learned during this journey is that what separates us is that I've worked for 2 other catering establishments here in Evansville, and I love to learn by watching and conversation, like I mentioned before. And I would notice that those head chefs or those sous chefs would have to stop production to go answer the telephone, or they would say things that they don't have time to do social media or do marketing, or they don't have a marketing budget. And it was those issues that I said, okay, when Jeff and I build Turntable, that's going to be my job. I'm going to set aside roughly $1,000 budget for marketing, and I'm going to be the guy answering the phone, and I'm going to be the guy out in the community that's getting business. So I kind of wear a sales hat and a marketing hat and then a business hat. So basically, just to say that I think all restaurants and catering establishments need to have a marketing budget and need to have someone that's doing sales and marketing. There was a quote, I think, on Business Insider. I think that's where I saw it. It was 33% of catering business comes from a caterer just being in the room. And I think there's a lot of truth behind that, because while Jeff is doing production, I'm out in the community, I'm walking around downtown, I'm going to meetings, public forums, things like that. And people would say, oh, there's a caterer. Hey, DeAndre, we need to talk to you. So being in those spaces really paid off. So that's what separates us from other establishments, is that the head chef is doing production, and then I'm out in the community creating relationships, meeting people, figuring out the impact a Turntable can make other than just providing food and experiences. Do we need to sponsor something? Do we need to just show up and be present in the room? There's other things that we can be doing. So that's what separates us from other catering establishments.
Yeah, definitely visibility. That's a priority. I wanted to ask you, like, what's your favorite event? Like, give me your favorite event, and then also let me know, like, do you have like a favorite event that you have catered?
So a favorite event. So there's an event here called the Jazz and Wine Festival. I would say maybe about 3,000 people attend. It's an amazing time, great atmosphere, great music is playing. Every genre of music, to my knowledge, is represented. I love that event. We have attended, as actually the Jazz and Wine Fest was actually the very first event we did back in 2017. It was the very first one. And so that actually got us the exposure we needed and built that momentum so we could keep going. So that's my favorite event.
Yeah. You have like a preference? Like what do you prefer to do when it comes to events? Do you have like a preference?
My preference, it boils down to, I really don't, but I would have to say overall, if you're gonna like challenges, I want a new client to challenge us on the experience and on the menu.
Oh,
I
wow,
don't have
yeah.
a particular event I like to cater, as long as the client gives us a challenge. I don't want to cater an event where someone wants us to just do a fruit tray and a veggie tray and
Wow, yeah.
stuffed mushrooms. I mean, really get out there, get on Pinterest. Let's talk about some different foods. Like, really test Jeff, who's the head chef, and our sous chef. Really test them in the kitchen. So I like those clients that are adventurous.
Oh, wow. That's
Yeah.
nice. That's definitely nice to hear. And I know you mentioned Pinterest. So have you ever had any like elaborate requests that you guys were like, okay, let's try to figure out how to do this? Like, what's the most elaborate, not guess, but like the most elaborate menu that you've had to put together?
Yeah. Unfortunately, that does not exist here in Evansville, Indiana.
Right.
So when I go to these meetings, I have to pull my Pinterest up, and I'm like, hey, you think this looks good? Hey, you
Right.
think this looks good? And I'm trying to create that dialogue where people are like, oh, we should do that. As of right now, that hasn't happened yet, but I'm trying my hardest to let someone just let us do it. When we go to festivals, it's a little different because we create the menu, and Jeff will come up with some type of variation of a burger, and that's kind of started the conversation. But when people are paying for it themselves and it's a home party, they kind of stay within, what they
Yeah.
know.
The comfort zone, yeah.
As I go on with that conversation, I'm trying to get them to think like, hey, for the next one, let's try this, or for the next one, we should do this, and they're open to the idea. So hopefully they'll let us play a little bit more.
Definitely, yeah. Well, I know next time you're in the Houston area, I mean, you guys stop by because I know you dabble in several different cuisines and all that other stuff. So I would mind being a guinea pig for you guys to see what you're cooking up.
Man, we love Houston, so that's definitely gonna have to happen.
Yeah, DeAndre, let me know. Keep me posted. Let's talk about fitness. I know you have the Keep Rolling campaign, and you just told me a crazy story about rolling. I think you said, what, 300 and how many pounds is that tire? The tractor tire?
The tractor tire is 230
200.
pounds.
Oh, wow. Okay. So give us the background. Tell us how you got involved with this particular project and what inspired you to create it.
Absolutely. So my father was battling stage 4 liver and colon cancer. And while he was going through chemo and battling cancer, he was rolling this tractor tire around Evansville, Indiana. Doctors told him, look, man, you need to just get somewhere and sit down, eat, rest, stop working, stop rolling the tire, but he refused.
Yeah.
He kept working till he couldn't anymore, but he always rolled the tire the entire time. And so our community, the inner city, saw that and was inspired by that. So people would always say, DeAndre, I saw your dad with the tire again. I was like, yeah, that's my dad. That's what he's doing.
Right.
And I loved that he kept doing it. I loved that he told, doctors, by not like telling them, but actions speak louder than words. He said through his actions, I'm going to keep doing this. The community needs this. I need this. And he did just that. Unfortunately, we did lose him. But he left a legacy for me to carry on. And so when he had passed, I got all of his things, including the tire. And the tire sat in my garage for about 4 years. And that's when I was going through turntable, making it happen. But at that time, it's right when we had lost our kitchen. And I said to myself, I weigh 235 pounds. I'm not happy with the way I'm thinking, where I'm at financially, wasn't happy with myself. And I was like, the first thing I need to do to change that is work out. Yeah. And I remember my dad always saying, like, hey, this rolling this tire is a full body workout. You should just do this. And so I got the tire out, of the garage. The first 3 months, I rolled the tire at night so I could build the confidence and the muscle to be able to maneuver this thing. 'Cause it's massive.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of fear. There's a lot of doubt. So that's why I was doing it at night. I would say that 4th month, after having, bruises on my body, having muscles aching in different areas I didn't even know that could ache, I then built the confidence and the muscle to then take the tire out everywhere throughout the day. And so now, with the tire, I roll everywhere. I roll to community events. I share my story. I share his story. And it's I've been blessed every which way possible you could think of rolling this tire. And so now with the Keep Rolling campaign, I use it to raise money for local nonprofits or families that may be in need. So again, impact is a big thing for me. Creating a community around what I'm doing is a big thing for me, and it's actually keeping me going. So I'm rolling the tire, I'm meeting new people, and I'm still on the search for finding a kitchen for turntables. So I'm doing all of these things at one time, but the importance of all of it is I'm making sure it connects.
Right. Connecting the dots. Yeah, well, I mean, it certainly sounds like it does, and especially with it being a part of your entrepreneurial journey, it works and it fits, just like you were mentioning earlier, is, just kind of being an example to other people and inspiring them as well. Which brings me to the small business mentorship, because I know that you've also, I think it was SCORE, wasn't it, the organization?
Yeah, I'm a SCORE mentor, yeah.
Okay, yeah, tell us a little bit about the importance of mentorship. Like, what has that helped, what impact has that helped you in terms of helping to take Turntable to the next level, the first part, and then also let us know about how you're assisting others at SCORE.
Absolutely. So whenever Jeff and I were going through the trenches, we went through SCORE, and because here in Evansville, we still have and I'm not knocking any generation when I say this, I love all people, but we still have a very high, older generation here. And that older generation, in my opinion, has fallen out of the time and doesn't understand new social media, new business practices.
Yeah.
They don't understand creative entrepreneurship because all they see is profit. And that was the older generation. Okay, I get that, but here's what we're doing differently. And so when I shared what we're going through with Turntable in different ways and different things that we were doing, it went right over their head. So for one example, is Jeff and I, we don't want a restaurant. We just want a kitchen that we can prep, store food, and then take it to where it belongs.
Right.
So here in Evansville, the mindset is restaurant. It's like, no, you can do so many different things with a kitchen. It doesn't have to be that. And then restaurants themselves can utilize their space in different ways. It's just not about being a restaurant. So you have to look at restaurant innovation and where it's going. But going through SCORE, we got a lot of pushback, and a lot of people don't understand our vision. And so I said, at some point in my career, I want to become a SCORE mentor, because I have to help the next generation come up, because if this is who represents SCORE, then entrepreneurship will not continue to be strong. It won't move forward. So we went through a lot of the SCORE backlash and didn't get what we needed, but it was more motivation to keep going.
Yeah.
And so now today I'm a SCORE mentor, and so I challenge, now that I'm at the table, I challenge them to think about creative entrepreneurship. Let's leave profit. Profit is, yes, we got to talk about cost analysis and all of those good things. I get it. But for a second, let's talk about how an entrepreneur can be creative to get to profit.
Oh,
and so, the cool thing with Turntable is, Jeff will set up some food. He'll take a dope picture, and then people will, there's a few comments on our Instagram page where people were like, I tried to eat the picture, I tried to eat my phone,
right.
Or my stomach started growling. So that's an example of creative entrepreneurship. If you can look at a picture on your phone and you're instantly hungry, or you try to eat your hand, or try to smell it, whatever, then that's a good job on us, because now chances are you're going to either hire us to cater or come to the community event that we're at. So, in my position now, I try to tell those school representatives, try to be more open and hear the entrepreneur out, because you're the first person they're probably going to share their idea with from a professional perspective. Yeah. And if you shoot them down in your position, they're probably never going to do it.
Wow. Yeah. Yep.
And I mean, and everyone's different. We kept going, but the next entrepreneur may not be like Jeff and I, and may just shut down completely.
Right. Yeah. You have made a great point. And I agree with you there. What type of impact do you want to have on others? Not only from a entrepreneurial standpoint, but also just, trying to push people and motivate people in different areas.
Absolutely. So from the Keep Rolling campaign, I want to motivate people to take their health 1,000 times more serious than what they do. My dad, for example, wanted to be a bodybuilder, so he's always been in shape. He's always been a built guy, but the one thing he didn't do was go to the doctor on a regular basis. He didn't talk about what he was experiencing physically or mentally. It was always lift weights and stay to myself. I didn't go to the doctor, so I wish he would have done that, because, we could have probably stopped this thing at stage 1.
Yeah.
So from a fitness perspective, go to the doctor, talk about what you're going through mentally, physically, and just, be in shape. Go to the gym or do something 30 minutes a day. From entrepreneurship and turntable, get out there and do it. Just do it. Find someone you can relate to, or a mentor. Silence the negative noise and get it done.
Love it. DeAndre Wilson, entrepreneur and culinary curator, co-founder of Turntable and also Keep Rolling campaign. DeAndre, let us know where we can find you online. Please drop all your social media handles, websites, and if you have any last words, feel free to leave that as well.
Absolutely. Facebook and LinkedIn, DeAndre Wilson. Instagram, Twitter, DeAndre D. Wilson. Also Turntable LLC on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Turntable LLC, Facebook, DeAndre Wilson. Now, on my personal pages, you'll know it's me because I'm standing next to the large tractor tire.
Sounds good. And for anybody that is in the Evansville area that's interested in the catering services at Turntable, do you guys have any direct connections, or where should they get a hold of you there?
The Turntable LLC that they message through the page. We'll get back to them as soon as possible.
Okay, perfect. DeAndre, thank you so much for being a guest. It's been great, and we definitely look forward to your continued success.
Thank you.
Thanks for hanging out with us here on SOB. We hope this episode has been resourceful. If you'd like to check out the latest articles or follow Keetria's website updates, just log on to Keetria.com or follow her on Twitter at KEETRIA.